Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the CSL Finals. We are here. We started out with 16 teams in these playoffs, and now we've narrowed it down to just 2, but only one can be the grand champion.
Indeed, and here we have it, the grand finals of the CSL. It is going to be Temple versus the University of Montreal, and this is something that we were talking about earlier. We were like, they are the favorites to win it, but we never ever want to count anybody out. But the fact that it ends up being this way, not that much of a surprise, but the way that they got here, definitely impressive, seeing exactly what they could do. So yeah, this is going to be pretty awesome. I'm very excited for it. Everybody else excited out there? We're about to go into the grand finals right now.
Yeah, I am ready for an absolute bloodbath. Every match here is so contentious. These guys both have 2 pros each kind of backing up their team, and behind that we have very strong kind of B-teamers that are going to be filling out those 2v2 matches, those Archon matches. There is so much intensity going in. It looks like our first match, the 1v1. Okay, so I want to talk about this for a second.
All right,
I was talking to the Temple guys. And Jay can be a pretty serious guy sometimes, but he can also be a little lighthearted. And I'm like, so the standard matchup, and he goes,
no.
Doesn't say a word, just shakes his head at me, and he goes, we've got some memes. And the man would not tell me. He refused to go into more detail.
Oh my God.
But he said that they've got some memes. They're going to be shaking this up in a truly interesting way. CSL, it's like Pro League format. If you guys aren't familiar with Pro League format, both teams submit their lineups in basically a sealed envelope, and then it's unveiled to both of them. So you set your lineup without knowing who you're going to be facing. And I think both these teams have been pretty predictable, so it's kind of easy to guess. But Temple has shaken things up.
Unreal. We are going to see not what we would expect, but it's going down. It will be a ZVP on Honorgrounds to start things out. It is Jig representing Root Gaming as well as University of Montreal. And then on the other side of things, it's Dat Boy Shinroc for Temple.
Yeah, Dat Boy. At one point, most of the Temple players were Dat Boy.
Or, they were Dat Boy, they were King. What is going to be next? Dat
Queen?
King?
Dat Queen?
Daquan?
Daquan? Daquan. But it looks like... I'm so excited to see how this lineup goes down, just because, and I mean this in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
Shinroc is a sacrificial lamb being thrown to the wolf that is Jig.
Well, we're going to go to a 4-player map, guys. The countdown has begun. I want to hear you get hyped. It's going to be the grand finals here of the CSL.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Getting ready to start our first map in the grand finals. These guys have put so much time, so much energy, so much effort into things here, and it's all come down to this final moment, a single best-of-5 series, so much on the line. And spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our green Zerg player representing Montreal. Give it up for Jig.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, representing Temple University, it is Shinroc!
Shinroc, of course, being the last-minute replacement. He's been a long-time member of the Temple University team, but hadn't seen too much play with... okay, so we already see one pylon coming down in the middle of the map. This is going to be something interesting, something wacky. When you're Shinroc and you're coming up against Jig, you don't want to throw normal stuff at the wall.
Absolutely not.
You don't want to play a standard macro game. You want to build 2 gateways
in the middle of the map. And this is like the biggest dice roll. People say game of chance, RNGesus. He's praying to RNGesus right now. He has a 1 in 3 chance in order to find the base of Jig. Now, there are certain things you have to pay attention to. If the probe can ever see the Overlord and see which direction that it's going, oh my God, he's adding a 4th one. Are you kidding me?
He's praying to action Jesus right now.
Yeah, at this point. So this is like so intense, and the fact that Jig decided to go for a pool first, as well as a gas, means that he's not going to play it out super greedy. I would say if you're facing against Shinroc, someone that you would not expect in your Jig, there has to be something that he's going to try to do to take advantage of you.
Absolutely. I almost prefer, and this is, I know, not the popular thought, I almost prefer defending against this kind of attack with a hatch gas pool.
Yeah.
Just because you get the speedlings out quicker and you have more production if you can survive. But, you know, Jig is kind of a different caliber of player compared to his opponent, Shinroc.
Yeah.
So it definitely could be advantageous for him to have that kind of pull out faster and be able to get the lings out faster. He still doesn't know.
No, he doesn't. He's continuing to kind of go down the regular route that you would against a Protoss player, taking out a bit of the gas in order to get that third base at a nice time. Now, these Zealots are starting to pool in the middle of the map, and the probe is going to confirm that Jig is not in the top left. He's already checked the top right, so that means there's only one other place he can be, and it's not in his own base. That's for damn sure.
How many Zealots is Shinroc going to wait for? Do you think 8?
I would say, yeah, when these ones do pop out, oh man, then maybe he's just going to go right now. That's a lot of Zealots. Now, let's see. Around the 2-minute 40 mark is when you will see the third base come out for the Zerg player. There is a Ling, and he has discovered that these are a lot of Zealots that should not be there right now, and they're going to go way back home. But Jig has already started droning. He's making 2. Immediately drops the Roach Warren, but how much damage can get done before these units actually get out?
Yeah, so the Roach Warren coming down, 6 Lings on the way, 1 Spine Crawler. There's a lot of defensive potential for Jig, but it's not going to be ready for another 30 seconds or so. If Shinroc can find a favorable position in the mineral line here, he can get a lot of damage done. So far, moving directly in here. Second Queen coming off that natural to help defend. Lings flooding in from the sides. They don't want to be attacking unless they feel they can get a favorable wraparound. So far, Jig looks well set up to defend this.
He does. He hasn't lost any drones just yet, and now the Lings are trying to get good positions, but Zealots do better. The Spine Crawler has completed, and here we go. A little bit of some hold micro, not trying to lose any drones. You notice that the Zealots are kind of bugging out with their AI, and a good surround. Spine Crawler and the Queens are going to hold. Jig not going to take too much damage. 3 drones against such a dedicated attack? Not enough.
How beautiful was that drone flower?
Yeah.
If you guys were unaware that you can do that, Jig was kind of abusing the fact that when you send minerals to or workers to mine on the minerals, they kind of slide in that weird fashion, and he managed to get a full surround on a group of units that should not really have been surroundable.
Like that.
Really well done by Jig. There's going to be a second wave from Shinroc that Jig will have to defend. But generally with this kind of attack, if the first wave doesn't stick, you're not going to get much done with the second.
Probably not. And if he had made a cybernetics core, maybe he could do it within a depth follow-up or something. Oh, there is a Ling inside of the main of Shinroc, so Jig knows exactly where he has spawned. Now, the Roaches are going to start coming out now, and they are the counter to Zealots. So if he holds that high ground position, I don't think that Zealot should be able to do anything. Why is this Ling doing this right now? Another probe is going to go down. Oh my god. What is happening? A 4th probe is going to go down. There's one Ling going hard in the paint right now. I don't know. Is he playing like Scarlet?
That's the only thing I can think of.
Like, another one. DJ Khaled. Another one. Count it.
What?
Count it. Litty titty.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Sometimes
Another
you just
one.
gotta close your eyes and pray. Here we go. Shinroc moving up the ramp, attacking into this Spine Crawler. GG is called. Montreal puts the first game on the board.
Hell of a defense from Jig, losing 3 drones, and that might seem like, oh, yo, you lost 3 drones, but the strategy that Shinroc was going for is as all-in as you can get. As soon as Jig gets map control, all of his production gets taken out in the middle of the map. He has no tech, he has no economy. That one Ling, though, going hard.
One Ling.
I want to buy his mixtape.
Litty Titty.
Litty Titty, that's his name.
Litty Titty.
That's his rap name. Oh my god. So yeah, that's going to be 1 up here from Montreal. Not bad at all. A great way to start it out. But hey, think about it this way. Temple, they haven't sent out any of their heavy hitters just yet, and Jig is already down. Yeah, guys. All right, so we're going to jump right into our next game. I believe it is going to be on Cactus Valley, so another 4-player map. And we have to find out how it's going to go down because, like I said, the heavy hitter, Jig, definitely one of their, I would say, ace potentials if it does get to that match.
Yeah, it's going to be between Jig and Semper, right? Those are the 2 guys. They're on Root Gaming. They're the pro players.
Yeah.
They have the most results to speak of, obviously. And that's going to be bumping up probably against Raze. But with the change in matchup, up is down, left
Everything
is right,
is messed
and
up
I have
now.
no idea what's going on.
Everything, yeah, whatever they would predict now is completely thrown off balance. And yeah, I would assume that Semper would come out right here. Now the question is it going to be Raze or is it going to be Tesla? You know,
or is it going to be Heartbeat?
If he
don't
throws out
know.
Heartbeat, that'll be even crazier.
Yeah, I would
And then the
be at a
2v2
loss
would be like
for
Raze.
words.
I don't know what to expect. Nobody should know what to expect.
Throwing Raze into a 2v2 could be deadly.
That's what I'm
when you
saying,
think
right?
about it. Or even Tesla.
Any of them, to be honest. If you were to take both of those players and put them there, but
So if you're Temple, let's give
I'm
up.
tempo. So it's
Okay,
close
okay.
enough.
So you're Tempo.
Okay.
And if you Tempo were
Okay.
on Temple, that would be awesome because alliteration.
And if I
is
did a 10
cool.
pool, do you think that would
On
be like
Temple.
on tempo?
Yeah, so you
That's
could 10
tempo.
pool on Tempo on. Okay. I think we may have broken me.
I think, yeah, I broke
I
myself.
think
I don't even know what I am anymore.
Show.exe has stopped.
So, yeah, we will find out exactly who it is going to be. Now, I would assume, okay, so it does look like this, yeah. I think it is going to be Raze. I'm going to see what is up. I would be so happy. That'd be great. And then if we do see that TVT rematch, or rather, a TVT rematch, and
Yeah.
it is.
There's a lot of options. Oh, Raze versus Semper.
He believes in his TVT.
Well, so Raze, the last time I believe Raze and Semper played at LAN was Cheesadelphia 4.
And how did that go?
Raze won. And I believe it was a 2-0.
Yep.
And, Jaws were hitting the floor because Semper was kind of like one of the top 2 favorites to make it to the finals. Their Raze at the time was a young, unproven, wet behind the ears player.
Little whipplesnapper.
And he went Super Saiyan and 2-0'd the established pro on Root Gaming.
Yeah, so if history repeats itself, then we could have a 1-to-1 kind of scenario before we head into the 2v2. And I think without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to Cactus Valley. And it is going to be Temple versus University of Montreal. University of Montreal up by 1 right now. Temple definitely in a place to tie this one up. I think we're going to have a really good finals here. Don't think it's going to be like the kind of let's play catch-up kind of style. It's going to be like really, really possible for this to go 1-1, and then whoever takes that 2v2 is the one that is going to be on that match point. So this is really, really exciting, guys. Everybody get your hands together. We're on Cactus Valley as we introduce our players here in the bottom right-hand corner. Representing Temple University, it is Raze.
And his opponent in the top right-hand corner wearing the purple trunks. Give it up for the Terran representing Montreal. It is Semper!
All right, so they are going to be spawning in the vertical positions. Once again, it is a 4-player map. There's no kind of weird spawn, let's say, stipulation. I don't know exactly how to say it, but like there are certain maps where it is a 4-player map, but you can't spawn horizontal.
Yeah, there's locked spawns, it's called, I
yeah,
think.
there are none of those on this map, so they could spawn in any of those directions, and
they could spawn in the same place.
Yeah, imagine that. How awkward would that be?
Yeah, the game is a 12 SCV battle. Whoever makes that the 13th one first comes out victorious. Yeah.
If, whoever lifts up the command center and drops it on the other SCVs and crushes them is the one that wins, but. Yeah, this would be fun. I'm actually very excited simply because these are 2 players that this is a match that you would see in any online tournament in like a semifinal or
many offline tournaments.
Even offline
in the
because they tend to go.
Like, yeah.
If Semper comes over, to America, he usually gets pretty deep into these tournaments. So
yeah, and Raze has just been coming up and up and up. It's almost like kind of Semper is the old gatekeeper of the North American scene.
Yeah.
And Raze is trying to break through and become that new kind of NA round of 16 Terran you have to beat to make it further into those dream hacks, those IEMs, those big league tournaments. And I think seeing them play at LAN is going to be such a treat here.
It is, yeah, and it's going to be a test here for both players. Definitely them putting it on the line right here in wonderful Toronto. I'm thinking, though, it should be very similar so far. Kind of like how we saw in that Archon mode where they were just doing very similar things. Started off similarly, but who had the better control? This time it's only on them. They don't have a partner to kind of say, hey, go ahead, handle these units while I do the macro or do the build perfectly. It's everything on the line and it's on their back. They have to put it on for their team respectively. So yeah, here we are. Reaper opener right into a Hellion. Okay, so here's a little difference here, Joe. The Hellion coming out shows that he either wants to get a bit aggressive here or a bit greedier in order to get that starport out and have extra gas in order to do other things. So
yeah, Semper already poking away with this Reaper, getting a bit of damage done onto that SCV, going to push it away. Raze's own Reaper going to be finished up here, and we're going to see that kind of knife dance of the Reapers potentially if they were to meet. Raze actually has a second Reaper. I love this kind of Reaper Hellion aggression. Raze has historically shown himself to be very, very tight in controlling it. Even against players better than him, we've seen him take significant early game leads just using this kind of poke aggression. Semper, of course, set up with the same tools, and it's just going to come down to the micro.
Here it is, though. It's basically the same units against each other. Who has the better micro? I do believe the sound.
Yeah,
potentially.
If production is listening, we are
it.
down on sound right now.
Indeed.
So if we could get Control S on that keyboard, it could be very helpful.
All right, so once again, though, the Cyclone is in a bit of trouble. And luckily for him, he didn't end up losing it. I don't know if a Cyclone can take all that, but if he started target firing, maybe the one that had a little bit less HP might have been able to go a little bit better, but...
Raze getting that Raven out just a little bit quicker. I think in TVT we've still been seeing a decent amount of that kind of 2 Raven pressure. You know, you dart around with those Ravens. They give you just a lot of different tools for nearly every scenario, and it's just really good. I think that's why we see it so often.
Yeah, it's almost free damage. It's energy that you're using for it, and even the fact that if you don't make a Viking, because a lot of the times you're a little bit greedier. We saw Banshee plays being very common as well, or multiple Ravens. So you need to be able to catch those Ravens, and they're pretty tough, especially when they drop the auto turret. They can kind of kill almost anything in small numbers. So tends to be workers, to be honest. But yeah, this is kind of cool. Here we go, though. Raze getting a bit aggressive, gets that nice KDA charge on that army, but it is double Cyclone, so a little bit too much tankiness for him to actually push the issue.
Yeah, and Raze actually going to turn around and start fighting this once again here. Going to try to get some damage onto this. The auto turret comes down from Semper, really nice moves. Suddenly, Raze's army looking a little bit weak. He is going to fall back and join up with these Cyclones here. They're going to offer some additional DPS. And with the Marines, he should be able to push this away without too much trouble.
Exactly. Way too much here. The reinforcement point is a bit closer there for Raze. And Semper gonna move on back. He does have that Raven, so he could go into the main if he wanted to, but Raze, being so smart, has a Raven of his own as well as a Viking. So the defensive posture that he has, very, very solid. They're kind of testing each other. I feel like this is a very gentlemanly game. Nobody's going full YOLO on him.
Yeah, I think both these guys just respect the heck out of each other.
I agree.
Semper and Raze, I'm sure they play a decent amount. I was told Semper practices more on EU than on NA, but he's still got a very high-ranked NA account. And these guys are just going toe-to-toe. Raze picking off a Hellion for free. Always feels nice to get one of those factory units just to be a little bit slower. Huge tank volley goes down, taking out a lot of forces. And it looks like Raze actually suiciding a lot of units into this tank, thinking he can get something done here. One Raven does fall. This is a very complicated kind of trade that just took place.
It was, and I believe did the Ravens of Semper end up surviving? It does look like it got taken out.
Yeah,
so.
one Raven did go down. That seemed to kind of favor Semper minerals-wise, but favor Raze gas-wise.
Yeah.
And I think when you are trading out technical units for basic units, that's always got to feel better, even if the resources lost chart doesn't necessarily reflect
it won't
that.
reflect it, right? So this is awesome. Just that little push. I think Raze is more inclined to be more aggressive, at least at this point of the game. He has the double Raven, so he can continue to go in and out, in and out.
And keep in mind, man, this is a best of one, right? So whatever you do, you want to put your best foot forward because you do not get a second chance. Most of the times in a tournament setting, especially with one with this much on the line, you're not going to be playing best of ones in the grand finals. But that
right?
is all you get, and that's what's so great about CSL. You put the most pressure on the players. They want to put the absolute best thing out they can because they have one shot. They cannot go Mom Spaghetti.
Only get one. Mom Spaghetti. Your moms are kind of heavy right now too. Just watching this, I can't imagine what it would be like to actually be playing this right now.
So much money, $8,000 prize pool on the line here. These guys came all the way up from Philadelphia and Montreal, long trips. They don't want to go home with anything but the trophy.
No, and Temple ended up driving up here, by the way, themselves. They did get into that car, packed it full of their gear, and then ended up coming on up to Toronto.
Passion.
I've
driven to Canada with the Temple guys before.
Have you?
Yeah, we went up to Montreal. My AC broke about halfway up, and my car has never smelled worse.
Yeah, that smell of passion in the morning. Don't you love it? That sweet, sweet passion fruit.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is such an even game in the sense that they are about equal on workers. Their upgrades are a bit timed. I believe that stim is already done here for Semper, but if you're not going to utilize the timing, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's, 5 seconds difference than the other guys. So
Semper's build does seem a little crisper, though. It seems like every single thing he's popping out is just popping out a couple seconds sooner. We see Combat Shield already started up. His +1 is going to finish in about 10 seconds. And Raze still has a bit to go on his, so there's definitely a bit more refinement coming out of our Montreal player. And Raze is going to try to find a way, or is going to need to find a way to take some kind of edge as Semper pushes up onto his natural. And this could be very bad. Raze out of position.
All right. 3 Siege Tanks to 5. Semper trying to jump on top of them, but he does not get that shot. The group of the Marines are getting targeted down. The Ravens are still here. So remember, they can drop those auto turrets. The way that the unit interaction works is that the turrets take the biggest aggro, so the Siege Tanks will kill the auto turrets, and then the rest of Raze's army will be able to punch on top of the Siege Tanks. So keep in mind when you watch this engagement exactly how it goes down, what targets what. If those Ravens get picked off, that would be an absolute disaster.
Semper might actually kill this command center. Raze cannot peel anything off to deal with it because of the position that Semper put him in. Okay, he is now able to get some of those Marines off. Semper forced to go home. Raze being able to sneak those Ravens and Vikings by without taking any damage from the Marines in the ground was absolutely game-changing. He could have taken a huge amount of damage if he wasn't able to get that army into position.
And if he makes one slip-up, that's it. The Siege Tanks get in there, and he also had a Siege Tank deficit, so Semper was attacking across the map. Didn't have as good of a reinforcement point, but he had the numbers, just that Raze was able to have that air superiority. And then he got that vision, and then you're able to at least defend it. And now he's in a pretty decent spot because he is mining from that third base already.
Yeah, Semper just dropped his own third down on his third base position. He's going to start saturating it immediately. He's got a lot of energy from mules, but look at what Semper's setting up. A run-by onto the left flank here.
Oh, but there is a sensor tower, so if Raze is paying attention, he is going to see it. But is this all part of Semper's plan? I would assume so. If you look on the other side, Semper is pushing across the map. Raze has to go. He cannot go too deep to his third base. If Semper gets his position or gets the Doom Drop into the main, that production will be in a lot of trouble.
Semper shouldn't be able to do that to the main. Those Ravens should be dealing enough with the auto turrets. But these Siege Tank positions are very vulnerable. They're up front. There's no Marines to tank for it. Semper could choose to try to jump on top of this, but 3 Siege Tanks offer a lot of damage against a small handful of Marines like Semper has. It looks like Semper is actually going to be looking to just try to poke and prod at 2 places at once until Raze falls apart. And right now it's going to be on the Temple Terran to try to keep his multitasking together.
Yeah, see that Seeker missile hitting all of those Siege Tanks. And he thought that he picked up the right one, but he didn't, and the auto turret's going to finish it off almost. He gets one of them. And wow, it's a good use of that Raven.
That was a pretty serious money shot there, taking out 2 of those Siege Tanks, knocking 2 down to half health. Once again, Raze has postured in such a way that Semper is no longer allowed to sit there and soft contain him. He's forced to turn around and go home. And at the same time, Raze is starting to take an upgrade lead. Semper's armory not even complete.
Oh my gosh, that's such a big deal when the Marines have superior upgrades. If you can hit a 2-2 timing, pay attention to it. Very difficult to know exactly where your opponent's upgrades are, but with a couple scans, sometimes you can put it together and look at those units. This is looking to be a Doom Drop. Dr. Doom, oh my gosh.
But how do you Doom Drop someone that has a sensor tower halfway across the map? It's a huge risky maneuver. Raze's Air Force is actually patrolling the north side of the base. Scanning that may just cause Semper to turn around and go home. Yeah, he's not going to want to commit into that.
No. In these positions, you would usually say that the Terran player on the top is the one that has the advantage because they have easy access into the main. If you don't know, you get on Terran's production and the Terran just ceases functioning. Yeah. All they have is what they have on the field, and the way that it works is that you don't warp in from like the warp gate or something like that. No, everything comes here from those buildings.
Semper stepping into range of that sensor tower. He's going to be pushing up on top of the natural of Raze. Everything is completely out of position. There's so much damage potential if Semper chooses to go for the third of that natural. Going for the third may actually be the worst choice here, but no, he's going to get a full sandwich on top of this. Is Raze going to start initiating a base trade? I think that would be the best call here as he moves on up towards the third base. It feels like there's a bit of indecisiveness. Raze is hemorrhaging all of his SCVs. Semper has taken a serious lead already. What can Raze do to bring this back?
He needs to go do something already. This third base has been evacuated or got taken out. No, he evacuated it. Semper knows exactly what's going on. And Raze he's frozen. He doesn't know what to do.
This is such a hard situation to be in if you're Raze. The third CC has fallen for Raze. He does have a tank line that should be able to defend. I don't think Semper can push into this. He may be looking for a Doom Drop, though. Raze Oh, this is so hard. The Marine count for Semper and his main is climbing too, so Doom Drop as a possibility may have exited here.
I believe so, Joe. Too many tanks, all of those Marines are going to get shelled. This upgrade advantage that we were talking about is not even going to matter anymore just because he can't find a good angle to get any damage done. So Semper, with a really sick tactic right there, despite being behind in those upgrades, was able to find an opening. And he's in a prime position to at least take a solid advantage.
If Raze can counter this,
Yes.
the counterattack potential is huge. He has to sandwich this, and Semper knows that that's basically the only way he can move. That's the sign of a super experienced StarCraft player. When you know that there's a chance that you're going to get trapped, you get everything into those medevacs, and you boost the hell out of dodge.
You do not want any part of that. So here we go. It's so funny. You look at these medevacs of Raze, they have so much HP because they can't get any action. They're trying to at least get in some kind of fight. He has an upgrade lead, but Semper is about to finish his 2-2.
There's a Doom Drop coming from Semper, moving in on this left side. Raze is trying to float that command center out, but Semper is not having any of it. Raze knows that he cannot try to fight this. If he goes home, that will probably be his end. So instead, he's moving across the map. The siege tanks are going to siege up, taking a couple shells for free. Raven's throwing down auto turrets. There's a lot of firepower here from both players, but right now Semper seems to have a fairly stable position as he pushes into the main. Raze struggling just to hang on here. Has Semper finally cracked the TBT that has eluded him for so long?
I believe so, Joe. The command center is going to go down, and Raze is feeling desperate. He's going to move in, but there's so many tanks, and here come the Marines of Semper from so many angles, and even the tanks trying to siege up for Raze. This isn't even all of Semper's army. This isn't the defensive force, and Raze barely can break it.
Double
everything
the
to flank.
supply of his opponent. Semper is in a dominant position, placing Montreal in what will be match point as we move on to our next map.
GG. Semper with amazing tactical play is able. I can't believe that.
There's no room for mistakes left. Temple's back is up against the wall. Montreal have put themselves in an amazing position in this series.
Yeah, and we're going to go to the 2v2 one here too, so wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Everything was pointing to Raze being a bit ahead. He had the upgrades, he had the earlier third, he had the higher siege tank count. Well, I guess Semper usually had the higher tank count, but he started getting some really good engagements, and it just took that one little positional play.
Yeah.
Indecisiveness. So,
wow. With that brilliant play, I think we are going to be jumping to a quick break before we move into the team portion of our matches. Once again, the score is 2-0 with Montreal in the lead. Temple at match point. And are we going to see our first ace, or will we see Montreal be moving into a championship position a bit quicker than we all predicted?
yeah, again, only one way to find out, and that's to stay tuned. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. It will be the 2v2 match when we return.
Sam and Ken are on separate journeys. Let's just say luck is on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's fine. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together due to common interests. You could find fellow games, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Take epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. Try band today. Band. Together.
welcome back to our final 2v2 match of the day.
Yep.
Once again, Montreal in a 2-0 lead above Temple. They're going to be hoping to come back. They've shaken up their lineup. Let's see if it pays dividends here.
Yeah, it is going to be Goon and Kraken representing University of Montreal, and Edgy Meme and Tesla, a.k.a. Rob, going up in this 2v2 matchup. So we do have one of their star players, Tesla, going up in the 2v2, so that's definitely an advantage here. But, hey, it's a whole other ball game whenever you step into that 2v2 arena. So anything is possible, but I would say that the edge would go to that player that, obviously, probably the star player, between him and Raze. And the fact that their first game, they ended up sending out Shinroc in order to try to get a quick, cheeky 4-gate.
Yeah, it's one of those plays where you send out a guy like Shinroc to say, you know what, he can take a victory here. It could happen. Crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
But if he loses, we plan for that. We've budgeted for that. You know, that's in the monthly household expenses.
Yeah.
Is Shinroc losing to Jig?
Yeah. I mean, no shame in that. Absolutely no shame at all. But here we go. Uh-oh, it is the 2v2 match. This could be the last one, ladies and gentlemen. Get hype in the top left-hand corner. Here it is, representing Temple University. It is the team consisting of King Tugboat and Tesla.
And their opponents in the top right-hand corner playing for the University of Montreal. Give it up for Goon and Kraken.
A lot of noise for them. They want them to bring it back. It is everything on the line. It's insane that it has come to this, right? I was over here saying, hey, it's going to go 1-1, but Semper was able to pull it off with some amazing play.
Yeah, really, really well done. Smart, positional, decisive play. The kind of thing you see from a professional StarCraft 2 player.
Right.
And
wouldn't expect any less.
Yeah, just really, really well done. Still reeling, still a bit impressed. But now we're going to move on to Tugboat and Tesla going up against Goon and Kraken. If Tugboat and Tesla want to keep their dreams alive, they have to win this map. There is no more room for
really
error.
Nothing else. Yeah.
They're up against the ropes.
Yeah. So I wonder if they had practiced this, if they had, I assume they have the idea of what they're going to do. Obviously, Goon as well as Kraken were the designated 2v2s anyway, and that was what they ended up doing in the last match. So I'm sure that they should be able to be in a bit more of a comfort zone, but hey, you get two solid players and put them together, you can make some magical things happen too.
So one thing I want to point out is Raze was telling me that they were planning this lineup shakeout like quite a ways out. So
okay.
I'm guessing they have some really deadly stuff lined up.
Okay.
I imagine they're going to hit some kind of super, super sharp timing. That's something that Tesla's good at. Heartbeat, obviously not quite at the same level as Heartbeat Tugboat. He changed the username, so apologies for any kind of ID confusion there. But he also is good at making a lot of units and killing you.
Especially with the gold base. I think this is going to help their income quite a bit. The fact that they decided to let the Zerg take them on both sides is an interesting thing. However, it doesn't look like they're going to transfer on the side of University of Montreal. So keep in mind, very important that you use your drones as efficiently as possible. And the fact that we're going to have an income boost on the left side here for Temple University, this could be a big deal in how much production could actually be happening. So
yeah, it looks like a couple of Lings are going to start knocking down this pylon. Really annoying stuff that Tesla's doing. You know, if you know Tesla, you know he's an annoying guy.
Wow, Joe.
Feeling savage today.
Parents
no,
could be in the crowd and watching the screen from home.
Mom's crying at home. I sent him to college and he turned out to be annoying. But in all seriousness, Tesla's play is often kind of based around infuriating you to death. So you just kind of like pull your own hair out, and that's how he gets the victory.
Wow, there was a pylon that was put there, and this is the most intense StarCraft match where pylons kill pylons. It's crazy. Buildings versus buildings, guys.
Second pylon available. There is enough energy for that photon overcharge to come down. It doesn't look like he wants to commit into it just yet.
What did he actually get done with it, though? Did he end up killing any workers, or was it just kind of a trade?
Let's take a look. No workers went down. He did pick up 2 Lings and 2 Adepts during that aggression. But that's not, like, perfect.
No. And he's going to lose 2 pylons for it, so a bit of a risky play, and he's going to end up losing 200 minerals for nothing almost, I would say. So here we are right now. The Mothership Core getting a bit aggressive. Oh, it's actually going back. That's sorry. It's a warping here. Keep that in mind. We might see this timing coming out of Goon and Kraken. And if Tesla as well as Tugboat are able to hold it, hey, I don't know. I think it still should be relatively even, depending on how these trades end up going. So
yeah, look how many Ling's Heartbeat made, and he's gonna get a full surround on top of all of these Ravagers.
What?
This is absolutely deadly. Those units are so expensive; they bioed themselves to death. And now Tesla and Tugboat making things happen. They still need to deal with that warp gate down in the south, but they have just created a very great defensive position.
Oh, that's awesome. Really here for Temple, one of the best things you can do is just catch units out there. And these Adepts are going to get caught as well. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. So
yeah, I've actually played a decent bit against Tugboat, and this is something that he's very good at doing, is just constantly looking for opportunities to surround your units. If you leave units out on the map, he's a guy that will clean them up. He'll get those wraparounds, and he will take advantage of that kind of thing.
Yep.
And he's just showing us his biggest strengths here.
all right. So Tesla is going to be going for Robo and Blink. And looking a lot more standard for him. He does have a second base just now going up. He stayed on 2 bases for a while, so we might even see, well, we won't really see it, but minerals being transferred over to Tesla in order to compensate for the fact that, 1, he took the gold base and might not be able to spend it all, and 2, well, here we go. It's actually a bit of damage going down here, but
yeah, cleaning up that gateway really nice for Temple.
Yeah, no more warp-ins over there. But the fact that he's taking such a late natural that he's going to be starving for minerals, so he needs that little kickstart, right? That scholarship, here he goes, and doesn't have to pay it back as they are friends. And it might allow them to make a little bit more money if they end up winning this whole thing.
Scholarship in the CSL, isn't that what it's all about? Buying those books? Yep. Anyways, Tesla is going to start poking up here. Ravager being morphed in to try to save those damaged roaches.
There's a micro out of Tesla with these Stalkers. Doesn't even have Blink yet, and he's going to have it in a little bit, so this is some awesome play out of Tesla. Even using his Mothership Core to put down that time warp on the ramp.
I think he may have overstayed his welcome a little bit here, though, starting to bleed off some Stalkers, but he's just getting so much value out of him. Even if he ends up getting 1 or 2 peeled off by his opponent, this is still definitely a favorable trade to take. Blink is now finished up, and now Tesla can be the annoying Tesla that he loves to be.
I love it. Tesla really showing his focus firing the Mothership Core. He takes away the injured Stalkers, but he does not kill it. This is all Tesla fighting 2 armies with 2 different players right now because they don't have the range nor the speed to contest it.
I just realized this lineup is genius.
It's so good.
Because what Temple's going to do is they put themselves in a position where there's 4 maps in a row they can potentially win.
Yeah.
Because 2v2, the Archon probably going to see Tesla and Tugboat or Shinroc once again, and then Raze finishing things up in the ace.
Yep.
Really cool stuff by Temple as Tesla continues to just be infuriating at the front with all these Blink
Tugboat
Stalkers.
behind this all, he's just been droning up. He's up to about 54, and this is off the gold bases. And here he comes. Finally, the cavalry has arrived. The Lynx and the Ravagers gonna get that wraparound. Can they make this happen? Corrosive Vials do miss there, but the target fire on the Ravagers by Tesla is brilliant.
Yeah, Tesla needs to keep his Stalker count high. Tugboat, I think, could really use some more Zerglings. They are actually streaming across the map. As I say that, great minds think alike.
Wait, what is he doing? He's killing his own Stalkers there. Oh, because he was supply blocked.
What is he trying to free up the supply for?
I don't know. More probes?
I'm not sure. That was, yeah, it looks like probes the only thing.
That's what it was. I hear them. Where are they? Oh my god, Tesla the genius. He decided to warp in DTs. They are inside of the main. Down goes the hatchery. That is so cool. He didn't have the supply, so he decided to go and warp in DTs by killing his own Stalkers.
Tesla, you are blowing me away right now. Don't wait for the pylon to finish up. Just kill your own Stalkers. Taking advantage of no detection. One observer is about to finish up, so eventually there will be some stabilization here, but it might be too little too late. His heartbeat's Lings stream in. Get the wraparound Temple, making it happen. Looking to put 1 point on the board.
Tesla with the sick micro, allowing his teammate to just macro up, and now it's just too much. I think
there
we're
is
gonna see
there
it.
is no recovery from this position. Montreal, if they want this championship, Temple's saying you're gonna have to work a little harder for it. We do not go down in a clean sweep to anyone, not
Nope.
even Montreal.
Not even. Here we go. The Lings come on. They have the melee upgrades. Getting the wraparound on these units that do not do good against Lings, and even with the corrosive bottle, that's all she wrote. Maybe it's a PP, not a GG, actually. Everybody, I need you to calm down, all right? You guys are freaking me out. Just calm down. Take a deep breath.
The game closed? I think only I can repause.
Yeah, I believe so.
Where's the pause button on this keyboard? Oh, it's not there.
Oh God, I got you. Ready for it?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Dark. 3,
It's so
2,
dark.
1.
Wait, no, I changed the game speed to fast.
What have you done? Not like this.
Wait, where's F10? Okay. We're fixing the game speed.
Hotkey is the plus key, by the way.
Yeah, but I can't see plus.
It's the big one.
Yeah, but
There
it's
you
not.
go.
Oh, wait.
I got you.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to let you hit unpause.
All right. The
3.
power is mine. Type in 3. This is teamwork. We're like an Archon now. High five it. Can I get a
We
round of
made
applause
it.
for us, man? Woohoo! Woo! Let's go.
I still think, I don't think all of that kind of oddness that just went down is going to affect the results of this game too much.
No.
Is that a Manor Hatch?
It looks like it is, but it is all she wrote. GG!
Temple puts one on the board!
God. Bringing it back. Bringing it back. Unbelievable control. And you look at Rob right now, and he's usually like smiling and that. He's like dead serious.
Dead serious. The
Stone
time
cold
for
killer.
memes and dreams has ended.
Yep.
The time for game face is here.
Yeah. Wow. So the next one is going to be the Archon match. It's so hard because I have no idea. I really couldn't tell you. I mean, judging by the process of elimination.
I'm going to guess it's Tesla plus either Shinroc or Tugboat probably makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
I think Raze is probably going to be held in reserve for that ace match. You
Probably
want your
Shinroc.
best 1v1 player to be saved, for 2 1v1s.
Yeah. It should be that. Yeah. Tesla and Shinroc make the most sense to me. And then here we might see Jig. And who was the actual Zerg? Was it? Trying to think of Kraken. Jig and Kraken, perhaps,
If Semper's in the Archon, though, that could be really dangerous. When you
and just close it out.
Yeah, when you go up 2-0, you just have so much flexibility in how you want to play your lineup. We're talking about it like they're choosing right now. They're not choosing right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we're going to hop over to a kind of quick break here, guys. When we come back, we're going to have that Archon match. We're going to let you know who's playing in it. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the CSL Finals, and there's only 2 maps left.
Yep. Nice control, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CSL Grand Finals. We're getting ready to head into our Archon match as Montreal continues to lead 2-1, but Temple picking up a bit of momentum by stopping that clean sweep there in the 2v2 match.
Yeah, they're looking to kind of break the curse. The story of the day has been 2-0 for one team. Next team will win the 2v2 in order to bring it back. And then in the Archon mode, it ends up being the team that was ahead that would win. So obviously for Temple's sake, they're hoping that that is not going to be the case here in the grand finals here.
Yeah, they want to force everything to ace, see what would likely be the Raze versus Semper rematch. Of course, we know that that ace is not set in stone just yet. But anyways, spawning here in the top left-hand corner, playing for Temple, fighting for their lives, it is Tesla and Shinroc.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, a little bit more comfortable, I would say, but not gonna just slack off here. It is Belshir Vestige representing University of Montreal. It is Jig and Kraken.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things to keep in mind here when we're watching this game is that if this goes to the ace match, there is no guarantee that Semper beats Raze a second time.
Yeah.
When they've played head-to-head before, I believe Raze has a winning record against him. Semper, he's a really good player. He was at a higher level than Raze, but his TVT can be a flaw in what's otherwise just a really fantastic player.
All right, well, if it makes it to there, we'll definitely find out, but this is the obstacle at hand. It is going to be a PvZ, and this is the Archon mode, so Tesla and Shinroc going to be able to potentially take this one. Can they bring it back, even it up? We haven't seen this map just yet. It is Belshire, and the double gate opener is coming out of Tesla and Shin. It is going to be what looked to be a pool first. I didn't see the gas get taken, so Jig and Kraken, they're going to try to hold this with just queens and lings for the most part. But hell, they don't even know that it's going to be this, the double adept most likely.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this earlier. We think Zerg probably gets the least return on investment when it comes to Archon, right? Just because so many of the units, especially in the early game when Archon gives you a lot of potency, they're A-move units. Like, we both play Zerg, but like Speedlings, you A-move them, they get the wraparound. I mean, there are a few scenarios where having that extra micro can be helpful.
Yeah, it can be detrimental in Ling Bane sometimes, though, too. So it's like, luckily it's not going to be Ling Bane. It is ZVP. My idea would be that it would most likely be for Ling drops. I think Overlord speed is going to be a very, very good upgrade to get here as a Zerg player.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. We've seen a drop speed. One of the bigger aspects of Archon mode, just having two basically fully sentient warp prisms that are playing their own game across the map and not really paying attention to whether or not their main army is winning or losing can absolutely change the course of games here.
Yeah. So here we are, though. The gateways, we're out here very, very early for Temple. Now, this is a pretty late Nexus, but it's not the end of the world because Jig and Kraken decided to go for the pool first, which means that they aren't going to be able to just have a burst of queens. And, you know, I think, yeah, without any real crazy shenanigans, is Archon, or rather the Adepts that are going to be coming across the map shouldn't really get that much done. I think it's only 2. So what you usually do is you'll shade them backwards while trying to target down as many drones as possible. But they do have to be together like these 2 baby girls hanging out at the edge of the creep.
Yeah, these Adepts are trying to poke away at the Queens. The Shades are moving backwards. If they can snipe down one drone, I think that'd be a nice start here, but it looks like, nope, they're actually just going to fall back, picking off a Ling and taking a little bit of hold damage on one. That's not really how you want that initial encounter to go down.
No, but it's also not that bad. They didn't really go too crazy. It wasn't like that 4-gate proxy, and it wasn't even like their opponents were doing anything too greedy either. So kind of just testing the waters, not going too deep. If you look at the worker count, Jig and Kraken up by about 9. It's going to start to even out as soon as his Nexus starts to get working. And if he can get a few of these kills with these Adepts, that'll be wonderful, but it's just not happening. Nah.
Yeah, the supply of Zerg at this stage in the game kind of tends to skyrocket over the Protoss just because of how production works. We do have a very important decision being made by the red Protoss Archon. It looks like the tech choice is going to be Dark Shrine. In Archon mode, that can be so powerful. If there's no detection, it can just be game ending.
It really can. And this has been a standard, well, it was a standard for a long time with that Warp Prism. So you use the Dark Templar to try to snipe out the hatchery if they don't have any detection. But there is a good lair timing here for Kraken, as well as Jig. So they should be able to get the Overseer. That will allow them to defend their third relatively easily. And with a decent amount of queens and approaches, I do believe this shouldn't do too much. The DT shouldn't do too much, but it's all about the Archon follow-up. That can do a lot of work.
Absolutely. And it's, I mean, you can tell that that's kind of what they're looking for because this is not exactly a hidden Dark Shrine.
No,
just having it in the front of your natural, hanging out right behind their open facility. Oh, they're using it a bit more for SimCity than anything.
Yep, these Adepts finally may be able to get a drone, targeting 2 of them down. There we go, finally finding their calling in life. And 2 drones, didn't get any scouting info, but hey, it is what it is, right? They've just been itching for that for like the whole game.
Jig and Kraken just traded out 4 Lings to bait out 2 Photon Overcharges. And that makes me wonder if they're going to be trying to set themselves up for some aggression later in the game. You know, wanting to really milk that energy out of the Mothership core, keep it low, and just make it so that the defensive potential of their opponent is a lot lower.
Yep, Lings are going to get into the natural, but they did end up seeing the Warp Prism leave. So that's one thing that you really have to know. Remember that this is a build that was very common, so there's no real surprises. Jig should most likely, unless he took a break, know what exactly is coming. Really good scouting info. Look at that. 3 little musketeers going on in there, trying to get a few pickoffs perhaps, but I think they're more focused on the scouting. 1 of them will go down, 2 go down, and this is great. Link's putting in the work. Uh-oh, they're not reacting correctly. The Adept is going to come out here, but not before 4 of the probes do go down.
Yeah, really nice damage. A second wave of lings coming from Jig. He was talking about earlier, he likes making a lot of lings. Another thing that went down while this was happening was Tesla and Shinroc bled out a Dark Templar. And that's really bad because it means they have to work on another one if they want to go for that 2DT Archon drop. Super cool Immortal coming out here. He's kind of got long, it almost looks like a musical instrument that he's firing deadly blasts out of.
What the hell?
That's going to be enough. Yeah, it's the Elite Immortal skin.
Yo, it's like a shirt launcher. You know?
He's got 2 t-shirt cannons, and he's going to pummel armored units into submission.
Hey, I don't know. Those are some pretty nice shirts that we were giving away. You know? I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to get one myself.
I'd have an Immortal shoot that at me.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll take it. To the face. To get knocked out, wake up wearing that shirt in the hospital, I'll take it. I'm perfectly cool with that. Now, this is a very cool way to deal with the Archon drop. Very, very fast spire. So the Warp Prism is going to try to do what it can and stick around, force the units to stay home. But when you have units that can fly, the Warp Prism all of a sudden isn't that scary unless you're able to micro that Archons. Or the
I'm wondering
Archons
what the thought process is here. They're sticking on Dark Templars instead of going for the Archons.
Wow.
It's that's not what you usually see.
No. I guess he decides that the DPS is a little bit more important to him.
Yeah, they need to get this home. Losing 4 Archons would almost be game.
That would
losing
be
4 Dark Templar would almost be game losing at this point.
Yeah, that would be definitely the worst case scenario. DT does try to get to third with Jig, and Kraken have split their army up adequately enough. And Roach Ravager with a few mutas in the sky. I don't think he's going to commit too much.
Okay, they'll see the mutas. They'll see the mutas.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal. Temple absolutely needs to be seeing these mutas. They need to come up with a response. They're down 100 supply. There's no tools in the bank to deal with it, but they did get 10 drones.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. 64 do remain here for our Zerg, but University of Montreal, the creep spread is so sick. DTs are really putting in the work though. They're targeting down the 4th, not even caring about those, the drones. And this is actually keeping the units back at home, so they have time to react against the mutas, start getting that blink upgrade or whatever way they decide to deal it with. No cannons. Oh my gosh.
Well, there's no forge, I don't think. No, there is a forge, so we could have seen some cannons come down. And look at the supply. Oh,
Yep.
Temple is feeling the pain right now. Most of the anti-air TPS is going to come from sentries and pickles right now.
Yeah.
Finally, we see a total of 6 stalkers warped in, but Temple is so boxed in, they're so contained, they just lost probes, they're dealing with Mutalisk, and they don't have blink, they don't have static D. This is a really hard
They have
situation
Immortals
to
though
be
that can shoot T-shirts, but they only shoot them horizontally, unfortunately, so cannot shoot those mutas with them, and just keeping the pressure on with the mutas will allow the ground army to get so scary and start getting a lot of these Ravagers out instead.
Although, if we can see some force fields and trap a big chunk of this army up, that could be absolutely devastating. They do manage to escape down the ramp. Nice reaction from Kraken and Jig here. And it looks like Montreal setting themselves up to potentially crush through,
Yeah, this is match point. Jig and Kraken, if they win this game, they will be crowned the champions of the CSL. This is crazy to think about because it did start out with the DTs putting in some work, but the mutas coming out. Look at the worker supply, 47 to 73. Jig and Kraken's economy is so good and they're maxed out. They're just going to be able to do this all game. Where is the Blink? Where is the Stargate? Where is the Archons? Or the Cannons? They just aren't really taking this seriously.
Fighting in that choke, being completely shut down. Temple is falling apart, and I love University of Montreal's position right now. Even a corruption going down on one of those gateways just to slow the production down. Hemorrhaging probes, nice force field donut comes out, but you can't fight on top of that concave, and it looks...
There's a fight in the middle, yeah. Be so careful as they try to get into position. +1 upgrade here for our Zergs. Lurker Den is on the way, picking off the workers in the back, and then poking in the front at the same time. They don't have to commit because the mutas, I mean, how much value are these mutas going to get? 19 probes have been going down.
Every single muta can move command over those stalkers right now, and it wouldn't matter. Look at University of Montreal sitting on 5 bases. The production tab of Temple completely empty. Kwame, I think it's all over by the Brian.
I mean, he's forced them into this position. 3 Spine Crawlers, 4 Spine Crawlers, the Great Wall of Spina holding it down. And this is gonna be the final attack here coming from Tesla and Shinroc. Can they make it happen?
Forcing one base to evacuate.
Is there any world?
Okay, let's take a look. They forced one base to evacuate. Their opponents do have a 2K mineral bank, which is a lot.
Yep.
But if they can trap this army, kill it, teleport across the map, and shut down every base, I mean...
And go to the other side and unplug all of their computers.
we're being a little bit jokey, but I have seen crazy things happen. The power of Protoss, if we can see some force field, there's just not enough meat in this army.
No,
The technical side, yeah, if we had like 30 Stalkers,
sure,
then I could see the Immortals and great force fields coming down.
they have
There's
0
not enough
workers. They're down to 0, and they can't even, well, maybe they can make 1 worker, but...
I mean, so it's at this point, Temple is trying to find the dream engagement to deal with a run by.
Yeah, I think
What
what
the,
you would need
the
to
main
do...
army is sitting at home still.
Yeah, and the Remax potential is a bit too strong. Maxed out Jig and Kraken from the University of Montreal. Shooting those corrosive bombs, and the workers are going to come from behind! Oh my god! GG!
University of Montreal is your CSL champions. Let's hear it for them.
Wow.
What a big congratulations. A year of games coming all the way through the round robin stage, through the group stages, into those playoffs, winning every single match. And what a brutal way to do it. Temple,
Wow, Temple,
big congratulations to them for making it this far, taking second place.
Yep.
They actually had the best second place record you can have. This is the first time they've lost in the CSL.
Yeah.
Making it to the finals this year. So let's give it up for Temple as well for coming out, making it to Canada, taking that second place. And thanks so much to everyone that helped make the CSL possible.
All right, so I believe we are going to do a little bit of an award presentation here as best as we can. So heading on up over there to congratulate the teams that did end up winning. So that was University of Montreal. And yeah, once again, so sick. Gotta squeeze it out. Oh boy, I don't want to break anything. I don't want to break anything. A hell of a day of games here for these guys. Coming from Montreal, definitely a favorite team right here. As we see them, look at us smiling, you guys. One more time here, University of Montreal. So here we go, right? I know you guys came in here pretty confident. We knew that from your interviews that you had there. But, you know, when things started getting a little bit weird, you know, did you start feeling like perhaps Temple were going to be able to start swinging in their favor, or especially with that 2v2?
With the Praxis, I kind of expected that. So, because I think they wanted to throw away a player to like save this lap for the 2v2, which was a really good plan. But as soon as like Semper won against Raze, I think that like we were set. Our confidence was like up the top.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that. Like, how did you feel when you ended up doing that and getting into that position? Everybody was like, "Oh my God, Raze is completely out of position." He nearly was in a position where he had to make a decision right then and there. And I think you were thinking like, "I don't know where he is. Is he gonna come and surprise me?" But when you realize it, how did you feel?
Yeah, so I was in front of his natural with all my tanks. Not all of them, but at least like more than half. A bunch of my army, and then I denied his third base, and then I saw that he was going to attack mine, so I lifted up, floated to the main, saved all my SCVs, and then I saw that he was backing off to sandwich my army, so I just loaded everything up and went on a random side of the map where he wasn't going to be, and then I just went back, defended, and killed his natural. It was game over.
Yeah, as soon as you killed that natural, I mean, you started playing a lot more conservatively. So, and you guys bringing it down, holding it down, really doing your thing, right? I was gonna say that 2v2 is a little bit. How did it feel, man? Yeah, like the micro, dealing with Tesla's micro, obviously it's kind of tough, right? You know, a high-level player really trying to force that, but still, how did you feel? You know, as far as playing.
We practice with Semper and Jake, so like we know a bit of good GM micro players, but it's still stressful and hard to play against a guy ranging on even into the field.
And then, of course, here with the wonderful last game, absolute domination. That was crazy. You know, the creep spread was on point. I want to know, like, when you guys actually practice together, do you guys have certain tasks that you do split it, or is it kind of like, yo, do this here, I'll hit my injects while I do this up?
That was our very first Archon together. We never tried it, but yeah, we did. Okay, yeah, our second, we did one in the season too, yeah. But like, we don't really have practice, but like, we built the chemistry and in the team, so I think we just like it went well because of this. Like I just like, told him keep the mutas and do like your thing, and these mutas like kill every single pro.
This man right here. This man. Can we get a round of applause? How many workers died?
I think all of them.
You killed every single worker that was on the map, and you forced them into that position. That muta control is pretty insane. Is that like a thing, even when you're playing your 1v1s, is that like your specialty?
Yeah, well, I'm master's level, so obviously I'm at Jake's level, but when you have only one thing to do, like microing mutalist, it gets way easier. I was pretty much just trying to inject a little bit, just creep spread, but then if you have nothing to do but using mutalist, then Protoss can't really do anything against that.
And were you surprised that there was there was no bling, no cannons? It just felt like they weren't taking you seriously, man, and you kind of punished them pretty hard for it.
Yeah, well, we did only like, I think it was like 8 mutas, so I don't think they were really expecting us to go for that, and then once you're out in the base, then it's pretty hard, you know, as Protoss to defend against mutas like that.
Well, you definitely made them look silly when they didn't have any workers, and they just had to go in and then just get absolutely surrounded by those lurkers. Before they even burrowed, the GG happened, and then University of Montreal was crowned the champions of the CSL, so a huge congratulations. Here are your medals presented by my lovely model, Joe. Yeah, give it up for Joe. And your money, would you like it? $3,000. Not too bad, not too bad. Congratulations, I give you University of Montreal. All right, so I believe we're gonna be going to the League of Legends finals next, so definitely be ready for that. I know you've been waiting a long time. We did have some technical difficulties earlier, unfortunately. But yeah, here we are. The show must go on. And I hope you guys are ready for it. It should be pretty sick. Oh, baby.